Hi, I'm Amorim. I'm a neurologist at University of California, San Francisco, and director of the epilepsy program at the San Francisco General Hospital. My clinical and research career is focused on treating seizures after cardiac arrest, and I'm confident that by the end of this presentation, you'll see the potential of perampanel to improve patients' lives. This is a patient story that had a transformative effect in my career. A 43-year-old man was playing racquetball when he collapsed. His heart stopped for 30 minutes, and after CPR, he was in a coma. Soon after his arrival to the ICU, he started to have very severe seizures. Most doctors thought he had irreversible brain damage and that further interventions were not likely to help him. Fast forward 9 days, and he wakes up and holds his daughter's hand. This man who was not supposed to survive went to have a full recovery and go back to work as an engineer. This only happened because his doctors treated his seizures aggressively. This patient, taught me not to lose hope. But why this matters? More than 500,000 of Americans have a cardiac arrest every year, and 100,000 survive to the ICU. 2/3 of patients die in the hospital, most of the time from brain injury, not from heart damage. And up to 1/3 of patients have seizures, and near all patients who have seizures die. Black and Hispanic patients are hit particularly hard, and mortality is twice as high. In the San Francisco County Hospital where I work, almost half of the arrests are related to substance use. We see more fentanyl overdoses than heart attacks. But let me tell you what the patient journey is. People who survive CPR and get to the ICU have EEG monitoring started as soon as possible to monitor for seizures. Most seizures start within the first or second day after the cardiac arrest. But the current practice is reactive, and doctors wait for seizures to start to give medicines that can stop seizures. If I tell you that you have a 33% chance of being hit by a car when you're crossing the street, I'm sure you would find ways to prevent that from happening. And that's what we're trying to do, prevent seizures by starting treatment early. We want to use perampanel. Perampanel is the only anti-seizure drug that is predominantly working in AMPA receptors. These receptors can prevent seizures, but also prevent depolarizations. These slow brain waves decrease blood flow in the brain and can trigger more seizures. In this video, we see a mouse's brain where the light triggers the depolarization. You can observe how there is loss of blood flow in the brain surface. We want to stop this mechanism with the use of perampanel. We have already recruited an experienced research coordinator to help with this study. With funding and support from Cures Within Reach, we'll be able to start enrolling patients as soon as January in 2023. We are the busiest hospital in the city of San Francisco with near 250 arrests a year. We plan to enroll 3 patients per month and reach our goal of 30 patients enrolled by October. With this pilot completed, we'll be in a good position to get a larger clinical trial funded by the NIH in 2024. But what's the study going to look like? As soon as patients get to the ICU, they will be randomized to perampanel, 1 pill a day, or placebo. We'll do that for 7 days. We'll enroll 15 patients per study arm. The primary endpoint will be development of seizures, but we'll also look at brain injury on MRI and functional recovery. And I'm not going to do this study alone. We have a very experienced team of investigators. I have participated in more than 20 clinical trials. Dr. Ferrero is a leader in the field and has done clinical trials specifically in hypoxic ischemic encephalopathy. Dr. McCulloch is an experienced statistician who will help us make the most of this pilot study. Importantly, we already hired an experienced clinical trials coordinator. But to keep her in our team, we need your help. As I said, most of the funding will cover our research coordinator. A small portion will be towards medication, purchase, and activities with our community. I have already secured funding for a clinical trial in cardiac arrest and seizure treatment with a foundation, and my salary is already supported by the NIH to do research in this area of cardiac arrest and seizure. So why this project will have an impact? This study only involves taking one pill a day for 7 days, something we already do in the ICU for all patients with traumatic brain injury to prevent seizures. We can have this study completed in a year by the end of 2023, and we want to start a more definitive multi-center study in 2024. Our team is very experienced in clinical trials, and we have the expertise in cardiac arrest and the statistics to have the right study design to make the most of this relatively small pilot study. Our hospital serves an underserved population who is disproportionately affected by this disease, and we have more than 250 patients a year, so we're in a good position to enroll sufficient patients in just a year. And remember, cardiac arrest is the third cause of death in the United States, and we could advance the care of more than 100,000 Americans every year. Through this smaller pilot study towards larger clinical trials, we are anticipating a 30% treatment response with seizure treatment and prevention with perampanel. This could lead to a return on investment of $100 million per year in the United States alone. And remember, 90% of patients who survive a cardiac arrest can have a good outcome, so I know we can have a big impact. It is my life commitment to help these 100,000 Americans who suffer cardiac arrest every year. I want them to have the same happy ending that patient I talked to you about early in this presentation. Today I count with your support to make this happen.